Multitasking is a bad word. Yes, it is. Latest research from neuroscience tells us that multitasking can adversely affect our productivity.
An experiment done in 2011 suggests that multitasking can reduce productivity to up to 40%.
Our brain is not designed to do two things at the same time. It is just not possible. Neuroscientist John Medina, in fact, in his book Brain Rules, tells us that a person who multitasks, he takes 50% longer to complete a task. He also makes 50% more mistakes than a person who's working with laser sharp focus.
Multitasking can lower your IQ by 10 points.
Simple tasks, let us say, like going for a walk and listening to music. Yes, you can of course do that. If you are perhaps doing a repetitive work that requires you to make about 10-20 signatures on a document, yes, of course you can do that while you're talking on the phone as well. And but if you are writing an important email, let us say, and it goes like this, and you get a call, and you have a phone in the crook of your neck, and you are trying to do this. It's an important email, this is an important conversation, and you're trying to do both things at the same time. Something in the phone call will be missed, or the email that you're writing, you'll have to go back and start the email all over again before you can actually press the send button. You cannot focus on the phone call as well as the email at the same time. So obviously, when you start again, the amount of time that is taken is going to be much more.
So when you think you are multitasking, you're actually not focusing on two things at the same time. You're just constantly going back and forth between these two tasks. You don't see it because this is happening very quickly, but this is what happens. When switching from task A to task B, your brain follows a two-step process. The first process is goal shifting, meaning your brain taking the decision not longer working on task A, but switching to task B. And the second step is called role activation, meaning when you switch from task A to task B, your brain activates a new function in your brain in order to complete task B. Because task A and task B do not actually necessarily use the same brain function. So whenever you are switching back and forth between task A and task B, you're constantly doing this two-step process. Goal shifting and role activation. Goal shifting, role activation. Goal shifting, role activation. I'm already tired. So you don't really see it because this is happening very quickly. It's just a matter of milliseconds. But all this time switching and activating is time you could spend actually focusing on one single task. So adding up all these times, all these milliseconds, at the end you're losing time. So it takes longer compared to if you were performing these tasks sequentially, but also it adds some room for mistakes.
But why do people really like to say that they can really multitask very well? The reason is that when we have multiple windows open on our laptops or on our machines and we are doing things at the same time, the amount of energy that we are consuming in actually doing the task is so much more. It exhausts us, it makes us tired, and we then begin to feel, I've done so much work, oh my God. And that's what you can end up saying. But you know what? In fact, you have just exhausted yourself and you have just made yourself tired.
When you think that you're handling two tasks at the same time successfully, your brain releases dopamine that gives you a sense of accomplishment. So that even pushes you to do even more multitasking. Even worse, you feel like you're productive on the spot, but because of the back and forth and because the energy it takes to your brain to do multitasking, you will have to rest sooner and ultimately it impacts your productivity on the long run. I tell you, focusing on one task at a time is far more productive.
So my suggestion to you would be, look at developing your concentration. Work towards building your awareness towards a task that you are doing at one point of time. And in the center of our brain, there is a region which is called the hippocampus. And that actually serves the role of the storage device of our brain. And it has a capacity issue. it can hold information for about 20 minutes at one point of time. And that is the amount of time we can focus on one task. And we are able to increase our productivity. The way in which we are able to learn things is obviously going to increase. Sharpshooting is going to start happening. So my suggestion to you would be, work towards building your concentration and your focus. When the email comes in and there is a little ping on your mobile device and you are tempted to just do this, refresh your phone, check your emails, my suggestion to you would be, just hold your awareness towards what you are doing at that moment. Yes, do look at your phone. It's an important tool for doing business and it's important, but resist the urge to flip between two tasks at the same time. And then you're going to become and hold a good concentration level.